Hi guys, Dave here, and welcome back to another Gunpla TV review. Today we are looking at the limited model high-grade Artificial Human Evangelion Unit-01, and this is the rebuild of Evangelion edition. So it's new in the sense that the box is different, some of the accessories are different, but the runners themselves in this kit, it says 2007, and you may have seen this before in 2007 or in 2000. They brought this out under the LMHG line just after the anime. So you can't expect some of the latest technology, but there were some surprises. Some things that I haven't encountered before. I guess people who build more Gunpla, more Bandai kits would have probably seen some of these things, but I'll get to them later. Just one thing before I start this review. Please subscribe. I know some of you guys are watching this and you watch all our stuff and you're not subscribed, but please do it. It really helps. So we just did an Evangelion kit recently and it came out on the same day. Everyone knows what Evangelion is. It was started off as an anime and now they changed the anime. They brought out a new movie to try and fix some of the issues at the end of the anime. And now they've got this new film series called Rebuild of Evangelion. Some new units. Just generally, it's not even finished yet. I think the movie comes out sometime soon, maybe this year. Whether or not that will happen due to COVID, hopefully it will go direct to Netflix or something like that. As you can see on the side of the box, they have got some of the artwork of the poster for the new movie coming out. So yes, this is very much themed towards that. But really, does this kit actually change? Not really. The main figure is going to be the same. I do believe it looks very much like that 2007 one, and because all the runners say 2007, I believe that is the case. So just looking at the box, you can see it says new theatrical edition, theatre release commemoration package. So that is why they released this now, and you can see it's for the Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, i.e. the fourth movie. Thrice upon a time, it says there. And I think, as you look around, you can see it's got the AT field, and I believe that is what is one of the main changes. You've got a different coloured AT field, but I think the gun is the same. So what does this kit include? Well, it has the progressive knife, and it has the umbilical cord, it has some markings, so these are dry ply decals, it has 6 hands, so 3 for each side, and pallet gun, this is the same as before I do believe, and also a progressive knife that can fold up. There is also the entry plug. Now let me just talk a little about this. The entry plug comes in grey, and you're going to see a lot of things you're going to need to just touch up on this kit to make it look exactly like it should. So the entry plug comes in grey, and I have painted it badly, but just to give you an idea, this is different to the one you're going to get in the real grade kit, which has a much more fancy entry pod. So what do they give you to make this kit look like it really should do? Well, you get some stickers, the eyes, the horn, the shoulders, so the markings there. You get a choice between the normal Unit 1 eyes and the Berserk State eyes. So they're going to be slightly golden yellow. And hell yeah, I'm applying them. So I applied them. They look okay-ish. I guess you can tell they're stickers, but hey, what are you going to do? The shoulders, you can't really tell they're stickers. I type it like that. I think that's very good. And these dry transfer decals do a great job. Now, what I would say is that when you apply them, really make sure you use a sharp edge or something like that just to dig into the decal and push it on. And then afterwards, to make sure you really get it set onto the arm, or I think mainly the arm, and there's one on the back of the head too, you want to use some setter. I use this Mr. Mark setter. I'm not sure we can ship that overseas, but please check out a setter, some type of enamel to make sure that sticks down and doesn't move around, flake off, because obviously these are dry transfers and they could come off. I applied them to the back of the head and to the arms. You get, also with the arms, you get 2 choices. I went for the more complex one. It's just a matter of taste, really. I think markings change on the EVA as it's evolved throughout time. So really, some of these decals won't be the originals, but they may be more faithful to, say, the latest movies. Let's trace back a bit and have a look at the manual, though. Very impressed about the way that they set this out. I guess this has been remade. This isn't the 2007 manual. but they say the part you're going to make and show you the runners needed. Now, to be honest, it's like chest unit. Oh yeah, you only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 runners. So you're still using like 90% of the runners in the kit, but I guess it's an easier way to type of make sure you're not cluttering up your desk if you haven't got much space to work with. As we saw with the RG kit, there's some nice little moving parts that are connected to each other. So you move the neck and it moves this little bit in front of the neck. I thought that was pretty neat. And also for the entry plug, you get this mechanism that pulls both of the parts of the back of the neck up. One flips over and it reveals the hole that you can put that entry plug into. Going back to the manual, so slightly different to what I'm used to, but they've definitely made this an Evangelion type of cool looking manual. I appreciate that. And working through it, it probably took me about 3 hours or less, probably less, to make this kit. So it was a rather quick one, but I put a lot of time into making sure the nub marks went, so hopefully you can't see too many. I mean, there are some, but it wasn't undergated. But to be honest, sometimes I prefer that because it makes them sandwiched together easier. And if you take off the nub marks, you're looking good. So yeah, cosmetics of this kit. To make it, we talked about the entry plug, but there are a couple of other places that are very simple that you can touch up on. So the gun has some red accents. They're very easy to apply. Just sink your Gundam marker into that crack and let it capillary action take place. Also the chest, it's got these marks on the chest. They all need to be red. Very easy, just take a Gunpla marker, dab it in there. And on the shoulders, the back of the neck has 2 black holes that you can apply. And on the shields of the feet, you can also put some black accents on those dots there. Just makes it look better. It was easy, but there was a casualty. I spilt Gundam marker on my new sofa. Luckily, my wife is not watching it. Now, there would be some other places that you could apply. Some on the progressive knife. You can touch up the umbilical cable, and on the bottom of the feet could also be painted if you wish to. Okay, looking at articulation. So let's start from the bottom. The feet are in 2 separate parts, and so there is some maneuverability within those parts, like so. One thing I should note is that the foot is made up of 2 separate bits in this black bit, and sometimes that can separate, so maybe you'd want to glue that together. There's no reason why you shouldn't. This shield bit is on a ball joint, does quite a nice job. Maneuvers around, even sometimes under there, so yeah, there's a lot of flexibility there. The knee joint goes all the way back. It doesn't have that feature like on the last one, like on the real grade where this pops out, but it's still pretty neat that you get that amount of flexibility. Not the whole way back, but for such a lanky kit, I think that's all you need. These little knee guards, now, they don't really move, and it's like tiny amounts. The funny thing is that before you add this, it can go like a long way, but then you put this green bit in and it locks it in. So I'm not really sure why they even bothered like putting this on a joint anyway, but hey, it moves a tiny amount. Coming up here, you have a ball joint for the legs on polycaps. So actually, I prefer this to the real grade, even though they are polycaps. It won't do the splits because this part knocks into the midriff. But as you can see, because it is a polycap, it is very, very sturdy. They've got some really gummy polycaps in there, and they do the job very well. And I haven't really had the issue of it. Look, I'm putting pressure on there, pulling it apart. Not really pulling, it never falls apart. Pretty impressed with that. Moving up, you have 1 ball joint here, 2, and then 3. So these are sections that are sandwiched together. So you do get a relative amount of flexibility, as you can see. Like it goes further forward than it does back. That's about as far as you can go. But yeah, so you've got side to side and front. That's about it. Moving up, we have these flaps that open, which is very nice on both sides, exposing that chest with the red parts that I painted. And the hands, they tell you to glue them together for this exact reason. So yeah, they're just on a ball joint. When moving up, you actually have more flexibility than it appears here, and that is because this is not plastic. This is rubber, and it's really cool. The shoulder has great flexibility. I'm really impressed with this, and it's very sturdy. It holds its position very well, be it with the gun or not. Moving up, you have your gimmick to keep the blade in. Now, what you have to do is, it normally comes like this, and then you open the doors at the bottom, and you pull that up. And this is funny, this came on the runner already made, so that's pretty impressive. So you can fit the knife in there. And it is not the same, it's not the same on the other side. This one is just normal, but the other movements are the same. Looking at the head, you have this cool neck bit here. It's attached by 2 ball joints here, so the neck can move independently of the head, and that is nice, and that's really impressive in my opinion. And yeah, the mouth opens, so that's cool as well. And it is red plastic, so you don't need to do any painting there. Up here the eyes are stickers though, so you may be able to tell that. This is also a sticker here. But the range of motion of the head is good. It is linked to this bit, so you can't do 360, but why would you want to? I think that's pretty good. You're going to be blocked here by taking it any further back. Okay, now coming to the final gimmick, you have the part where you can put the entry plug in. That goes up, and it reveals the point where the entry plug goes into, guarded by this little black bit. That goes up too, and there you have it. This also, if you so wish to, moves up, which is cool. And here is my little entry plug that I painted, and bloop, goes in there. Push it in. You're going to need tweezers to take this out, by the way, especially if you paint it, because it makes it, you know, a little bit rougher to get that back out. But there you go. So I'm definitely going to need tweezers, actually thinking about it now, because that pushes in rather far, as you can see. So it looks like it's in, and it's firmly in, and yet, if I can show you, boom, boom, that is the reason probably that this raises, apart from aesthetics, is that it pushes up the pod. That's really cool. So now I can get that out. So yeah, rather nice. I'm digging it. The hands don't move, but you have 3 for each side, and so that's not too bad. Oh, and one other bit of movability. Yeah, this does exactly what it does in the RG kit. It's made out of metal, so nothing on the end though this time, but you know, that other one was a DX. So with looking at all of that, this is very impressive that it's a 2007 kit. I would have thought that it would have been just a lot worse, but it's sturdy. It's a lot sturdier than some of the stuff they're making now. That being said, when you have a look at it side by side with the RG, there are differences. So let's have a look at this AT field. It's pretty cool. It's got lovely texture, and in this pose it looks wicked. The thing is, it's very hard to get him to stand up and do this pose. Also, this other gun is quite nice. I've added some detail to it, and it's simple, but you know, not too bad. It's got like nerve written in the side of it. I think I would obviously pose it with another one that I've got spare from another kit if I was going to do so, but not too bad. While the runners are 2007, something that I haven't seen before was a runner that had been added to. So they'd made the runner and then put like a rubber jacket over the arm and put parts in it, so probably when they were making it. But you have to take these out and apply other ones. So that was really strange to me. I haven't seen that before. It was quite nice, and it was also nice to have that rubber effect on the arms. So as far as final assembly goes, they do note that you can use an action-based one, and to be honest, I think that's very much needed. It's one of the downsides of this kit, that because the EVO Unit-01 is so lanky, it can be very hard, unassisted, to allow it to, you know, stand up. Now, comparing this to the real grade, you obviously have some difference in details. The shoulders in the real grade have real collars within the runners, whereas these are just stickers. The gun also, you can see there's a lot less detail. But really, what do you expect from a high grade? I don't think it's anything bad to say that this is less detailed when it isn't the same type of kit. This is also a lot bigger, so you get a little bit more plastic here. The umbilical cord that you get with it doesn't actually plug into anywhere apart from the back, so you can see these holes in the back of the EVA, and it does a good job, but You'd have to make your own base if you wanted to make it look realistic, otherwise it wouldn't be attached to anything. In general, I think this kit is actually quite good. While it does look quite simple and plain, just by adding a tiny bit of work, you can make it look a lot better. And those dry decals on the arms add a certain amount of detail. I like the fact that the knuckles are also separate pieces of plastic. And in general, it's got enough gimmicks to make this not just seem like some static figure. I like that they have those bits that come up and down from the back of his neck, and also the fact that it's got a lot of articulation in the mid joints, and you do get that AT field, and that you do get that ability to put the knife in the shoulder, which is pretty cool. So yeah, all in all, I'm pretty impressed. I don't think that it's got any flaws or bits falling off. If you do find something that falls off, then you can always glue it on if it's not a movable piece. But within the movable pieces, there wasn't anything that I found kept popping off. So that's a real plus, because sometimes the arm joints can come out. And even though this is a polycap kit, I'm quite impressed that how flexible and sturdy it is. So I like it. I'm a fan of Evangelion, and this is right up my alley. I would say that the colours are a bit garish. Normally, as with the real grade, they're a bit more toned down. These are very fluorescent, and you may want to do some afterwork, maybe some weathering, because it's rather in your face, the colours. I know it's like that maybe in the anime originally, but I think I'd want to tone it down a bit. That being said, yeah, I'm impressed. It didn't take that long to make. You get accessories, and it's just fun having another Unit 1 that's a bit bigger. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next time.